This episode is sponsored by Stingray Tattoo Supply. Take your shop to the next level with our premium hydraulic barber chairs built for comfort, durability, and smooth performance. Perfect for barbers and tattoo artists who demand the best. Sleek, sturdy, professional. Get yours today at stingraytattoo.net.
This CBD-infused cream provides targeted comfort with a zesty, refreshing scent. Find your relief today at ktapothecary.com.
This is the chairman and the artist, where vision meets creation. Let's talk.
Salves, I had lotion, I had creams, but until I used freaking the extreme cream, man.
You tried it.
You don't even know, dude. It's like and
You don't even know it's possible.
The medicinal level in it, and then if you look at all the other products out there versus what their medicines is versus what is in his per milliliter, look, dude, there's no competition really. The only thing competition is trying to get it out there. That's
Yeah,
the hard part.
well, that's what this podcast is about, you know.
I gotta order one.
That's the reason we're doing this.
You gotta order one of these.
It's recording,
one of
Vaca.
these, you gotta order one of these products.
Can you hear me now?
And you know where to find them all the time. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
I done heard the whole conversation.
Hey, welcome back.
I
Welcome back,
heard
everybody.
that plug going on over there, man. I had some good sound in my ear over
just
here.
to let you know, we recorded you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we appreciate the raw commentary. Hell.
Anyway,
I didn't
Well,
know
we
it was
w-
being recorded.
Hey,
I was just telling them to spit the truth.
hey,
no, that's what. Ain't nothing better than a candid. Somebody talking reality instead of posing or scripted or anything like that.
so we ought to just go ahead with this is Topical Ted instead of,
Yeah.
We
And,
do own a company called KT Apothecary, but the deal is I'm the topical guy, so we just go with Topical Ted from here on out.
Welcome back. My name is Rafael from the Chariot and the Artist. Today we got Ted back. It's only been an hour. We're doing 2 sessions in one day.
Can
I'm
you
gonna be
tell?
truthfully, as you can see how we did exchange shirts. But on this episode, we're gonna go into mystical creatures and what kind of science fictions we're into.
Oh,
And then, we'll do a little plug-ins about what Ted has been up to.
listen. We already know. Come on.
So what you been watching lately, man? Because lately I watched Interstellar, and that one is about going into space. Except for homie was whispering, and he was whispering through the fucking movie, and I didn't like that shit. It's like, you motherfucker, can you speak up, man? You don't have to whisper.
The only thing that was loud was when every guns going on or whatever, but everything else I was like, what are these things?
That's bad.
I haven't watched it. No.
That's funny.
Well, it was a great movie, very visual, very
Now,
cool.
is that the same movie that at the end of it, when you get to the end, he's like in his daughter's room looking through the bookshelf?
Oh yeah, that was
that
a
the same
trippy
movie?
shit. That's when we kicked
When he's
in.
like speeding through time.
Yeah, he's actually
and shit and comes
he's-
back, but
he's
just
actually
tinier in
caught
the
up
same
in
spot.
a multiverse.
Yeah, fuck that.
He got caught up in a multiverse.
We're already in it, bro.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Hey, I own KT Apothecary. I'm putting a stop to that shit. Watch, I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna work hard, bro. No, look, you can watch that Blind Frog Ranch. When you get a chance,
So
watch that, because I know that you'll appreciate it.
Where can I find this one? Is this on Hulu? On
Dude, it's on History Channel. You
The
can watch it
History
on,
Channel?
I think, whatever Watch Through History, but like,
is this like the Skinwalker one?
yes, but so they're like 30 miles away from there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got, these motherfuckers are crazy, bro. Would
Well-
you be poking the bear like that?
No, I don't know about
He
it.
said,
But
I don't know about
look, hold on. Back in Mexico, where I'm from, I have stories, or people tell me stories about spheres showing up,
Yeah.
and these people are trying to catch the sphere, and the sphere leads them 20, 30 miles away from home. And, they get captivated by this thing. So I hear stories, and then you watch Walker Ranch, and they kind of talk about these fears also that pop up in the middle of the night,
South America.
Here's one that'll fuck you up. What do you think? You think possibly, right, that maybe Bigfoot might have something to do with all that too? Because they say that when you see Bigfoot in the woods, right, that they associate him with orbs as well. Orbs of light in the woods, and what happens is you end up following these orbs way out into the mountains, and then you disappear. So, are they connected?
I think Bigfoot is a fucking bear. They just inside and scares the fuck out of you.
He's a big ass bear.
You ever see bears standing up? They look like humans.
Oh, they're huge. They're huge.
They're humongous.
And they're trippy, especially the black bear.
Oh, yeah.
When they stand up and they walk around and they're creeping through your window and shit like that,
Yeah.
And if you're doing the right amount of,
Yep.
if you trip, you see those over there in Tahoe, huh?
No, we were working a job in Tahoe.
Yeah.
And I looked down and there's a black bear in my car.
Yeah.
Dude opened my door. Like this, like a human. He said, "Who is this?" And nothing. And I had to yell at him because he was about to
Put him on
open
a
my
job.
door.
It was
He
funny.
literally went up and opened my door just like a human.
Yeah.
No scratches, nothing. I was like, you're right.
There's a chair.
That's fucking
I got
Jogi's.
pulled over by a bear.
That's Jogi's cousin, homie.
What are you doing here?
That's Jogi's cousin. The ones in Lake Tahoe, they've been trained to open doors and everything. The Tahoe ones, they're very, well, you live in a human habitat. You figure out how to open doors.
I've never seen, you see stuff like that on TV, on crazy animals or whatever,
Yeah.
But I looked down on the balcony, that dude just said,
You know what's crazy?
I got caught by a black bear.
On National Geographic, they show you the animal attacking, but they don't show you the whole kill. They kind of have mercy. No, on TikTok they show you the whole thing. On Instagram.
Here's what I learned, they will, what's that movie with freaking DiCaprio?
With the wildlife, the island one.
The one where it's back when they're trading furs, and he gets attacked by a bear.
Oh, the
I didn't see it. I didn't watch
the Great Departed or the
I can't think of the name.
The Departed.
No, The Departed's with him and Matt Damon.
Okay, that's another movie. I know which one where the bears kicks his ass and everything. Yeah, it wasn't really like that, but I remember they made it very dramatic. I actually saw the documentary of the real guy. He got a little scratch in that, and that was enough to make him a bitch. They showed another documentary, but apparently, you know how Hollywood makes it look. I saw that ass whooping. That fucking bear gave it an ass whooping.
To me, that's what I would picture a bear attack would actually look like.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
He grabbed him by his neck, by his back, and just smashed him.
I was rooting for.
And stomped on him.
I was rooting for the bear, homie.
Oh, joke. I only got to run faster than you.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that I've been watching on. I think it was on Amazon or something. There's a series about frontiersmen, and you got all these. Daniel Boom, you got all these William, this black guy who was raised with the natives and stuff like that. He was a badass trader. They talk about all the traders and all the mountain men. And all the mountain are just poaching the fuck out of the animals. Right. And the natives keep saying, hey, slow down, you're going too fast.
Right, because the natives use every part. And they don't.
I mean, after watching like 10 episodes of the same message over and over. Now they got people looking for these extinct animals.
Mountain are pretty brutal.
Yeah, some of those.
I'd rather run up against a bear than a mountain man.
There's a guy named Jim Britcher. There's all kinds of legends about Jim Britcher, and I mean these motherfuckers are going to fucking, we can say, enemy territory,
You're gonna be the first white guy that this tribe puts eyes on.
Man,
that's how dangerous the Wild Wild West was, you know.
that's
I mean, you gotta hit it to both sides. It was just madness.
Oh,
You-
yeah, and I mean, half the people nowadays couldn't even.
I look at it this way,
10
like,
minutes.
you telling me the United States heroes were actually poachers?
oh, you don't think? You don't
Yes,
think?
they were.
How you think we ate?
Oh man! But anyway, let's go back to another one.
All right, different level.
Different level Skinwalker. Let's go back to aliens.
Check it out.
Because Skinwalker is about aliens.
Now
right?
listen, we're not going to talk about the illegal aliens.
No. About
Because the
aliens.
illegal ones are the ones that came over and
No,
took their land
how
from
come
them.
how come I know,
And they
but
got
how
a
come is
different
it?
color than you.
How come is it when the aliens come from outer space they're not considered illegal?
Man, that's a really good question. They say they walk amongst us, so I want to know the truth. Yeah,
That is not correct wording.
I want to know why they're allowed to walk amongst us and they don't have to register. That's what I want to know.
The lizard ones. I heard about a story about the lizard people. And I was like, holy shit. That's when I'm driving through the UFO site. And homie's telling me that his uncle is involved in a program and he knows about the lizard people. And we're driving right next to UFO
Are you
Area
all-
51.
Are you all caught up on that Skinwalker Ranch show?
I watched one series. I got to a point that as soon as they start digging, people get sick. They're not allowed to dig. There's something down there.
All right.
They think it's a big old spaceship. Last time I checked that shit out.
All right. Check it out, bro. I've seen this shit is good, right?
Yeah.
So there's some shit going on over there. And we talk about like the things that we can see and we can't see. He's talking about spirits, one of those things. So do I believe in ghosts? Yeah, I believe in ghosts. I also believe in interdimensional beings, right? I also, because I recall seeing some shit when I was younger that I've never seen again fully like I did at that time, but I know the feeling and the experience that went along with it. And so I believe in all these different things. Now, if you're getting into the Skinwalker Ranch episodes, right, you're just probably in the first season, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, that's when they cut my my TV because I couldn't afford it.
Because I couldn't afford it no more.
All I do is watch YouTube now.
So I might have to bring my thing over there and hook your TV up for a minute. So these guys are they're running all these tests, right? And they're finding that there is something sitting above this ranch. And is it an alien in nature or, and here's the kicker, right? Because of all the crazy stuff that's going on in Skid Rocker Ranch for so many years, and you know the stories behind all of that, they've got a multitude of shit going on. So, interdimensional shit, but at the same time, they possibly have a fucking wormhole.
That would be fucking awesome.
Bro,
A doorway.
Yeah.
there is a doorway, and I
These fucking-
shit you not. If they're not saying it, I'm saying it looks like a motherfucking doorway to a wormhole. And
no.
I know, like, they don't want to say it because they keep doing all these fucking tests, but all this test keeps showing that that same anomaly is in the air, and they know that orbs fly around in there. And I mean, keep poking the fucking bear. Keep poking the bear. Then you think about, like, mythology, right? Fairies. You think about trolls, giants, living trees, all these mythical things that they talk about. Well, if there was never really any kind of moment in time where any of that stuff collaborated, or was there really a point in time where it all collaborated and then all got dimensionally separated because it couldn't exist together?
Well, yeah, there was species of humans killing other species of humans.
right?
Only in the 1700s, they were fighting still species of other species of humans, and one of them would annihilate the other one.
Hey,
You know, I mean,
you believe in reincarnation?
I don't want to. What's up, man? Can I just be God? I don't want to come back to this fucked up world.
So for a long time, right? So for a long time, right? Like when I was younger, when I would get angry or confused or shit would get really messed up for me, I would just black out. And when I black out, I would see red. And to visualize that red, it was like a lake of red with silhouette shadows in it.
I wonder if that's what my brother would see, because my brother would pass out too. We would spook him, he'd pass out.
Yeah, but I wouldn't pass out. I would become extremely volatile, and I would try to destroy and dismantle whatever was in front of me.
Oh, you're one of those destroying kids that would just go belligerent.
It was just the craziest fucking thing, right? And so then...
Can you remember it? You didn't...
I remember these things happening. They don't happen anymore like that.
What did they call it back then? Spells?
They call it a spaz, motherfucker. Goddamn spaz.
I remember...
I was in special education because I was spaz.
She has spells, you know?
Yeah, I'll tell you, motherfuckers didn't like the way that... So anyway, my mom thought I was evil, of course. You know, she thinks that I drag spirits to places where she's at. Like, she thinks that if they show up somewhere where she is, it's because I showed up there. And that's not the truth, because those spirits were actually there before I got here to Nevada.
It's not your fault that she actually sees the spirits around you.
Right. Well, so I've been hit in the head a few times as a kid really bad. And so I had a really hard time functioning. I'm really high functioning and smart. I just can't focus. I couldn't control my anger, outbursts, anything like that. Like, and to be having the disease of addiction, like all that shit is crazy. So what happens is I feel sometimes like there's multiple spirits inside of the vessel, right? But as the individual controlling the vessel, you have to be very careful of which entity you listen to.
I used to listen to the voices, but I started listening to them already.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for sharing that shit.
Yeah, we don't talk about getting high no more, bro. Believe me.
You ever had that where I used to, before I sleep with my fucking machine, I used to have a sleeping problem. So, dude, I used to have some heavy ass dreams, and then when I'm laying down in bed, I could hear voices and shit like that. He's getting ready to go to sleep. Get ready. Yeah, it's like, it's fucked up when you hear voices and shit like that.
Your grandmother
And
never
it's
told
even
you you were
worse.
touched?
It's even worse when you start listening to them. You're like, really?
Yeah.
And
you're touched.
yeah,
You're
when you
fucking
listen
crazy.
to voices, you start thinking that
You're loco.
Good spirits and they're bad spirits. You know, and some of us call them voices, and some of us call
Where-
them spirits. Some of them us call, you know, there's different names for that kind of stuff. You know, because I hear voices all the time. You know, and
Yeah, dude.
I don't like
Dude,
the voices.
I'm
most
telling
of
you.
mine aren't nice. Most of mine want me to do the wrong thing.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
those are the ones I do not. Yeah, those are the ones I don't listen to anymore. But believe me, they can get
I listened for too many
they tap
years.
on the shoulder every once in a while.
So everybody does have that good and bad side. One of the contradicted. Don't fucking do it. Don't be
As you
stupid.
get older, you learn how to tune them out, and you also have done enough wrong to know exactly what's right. And so some of those voices, you know, they never give up.
And really, like,
even if you don't listen to them,
that's
for
kind of
12
what I'm
years,
getting
they
at.
Still are there.
That's kind of
yeah.
what I'm getting at. So if you've been reincarnated multiple levels, right? Which I feel that is part of a reincarnation to hear that. It's the weirdest thing to me that people often tell me that they feel like I'm a healer, right? But I also feel like I died and I didn't do the right thing. I should have fought. And ever since then, when I came into this existence, into this timeline, into this incarnation, I came in this motherfucker fighting like a fool, bro. Like, I was so angry about what happened in the last one that I couldn't shake it. And I think that's what happens is when we come into this and people start teaching us how to live in society from being a kid, that we're being torn away from that past. You know what I'm saying? And it's the weirdest thing, because now I have that product that we sell, and we have that company as a result of it, because we need something that, yeah, it's not a cure, but it heals that desperation for not feeling that. So did that come from a past existence, or does that just come from suffering now? Because I never felt like I ever stopped suffering from as far back as I can remember as a kid.
I just suffer from anger management. I get to smoke
Simple.
weed and analyze the ass whooping, and should I go kick ass or not. And usually by the time I finish that weed, it's like, it's not worth it.
Not worth
you know? I need to go back and
need a
apologize. You know, so you know, if I smoke out that joint and I still need to do an ass whooping, then that motherfucker needed an ass whooping. But you know,
bro, I've been on a journey. I've been on a journey for a long time, bro.
You know, but you don't want to do an ass whooping when you're going through anger management, because you can go over the limit. You know, anger management
Just
can
look
let
at
you.
my-
Can
Never
let
mind.
you in jail.
We don't want to talk about that.
It takes a couple of ass whoopings, and then you're in a bad situation. So gladly, I got Mr. Weed to keep my anger management down. You know, I don't have to. I don't. You know,
I have anger problems too.
we try to do it with alcohol, and
What about-
sometimes that's a bad idea.
What about all those nights back when I was running at the door and we was out at the bars all night?
I was
dude.
I was afraid to smoke weed, mainly because I was afraid to get addicted, and I was afraid that I didn't know. You know, everybody would tell you it was a gate drug to the other ones and all that. You know, but
We certainly threw back enough beers,
you know,
that's
luckily,
for sure.
luckily, by the time I started smoking weed and I had to control my anger, you know, there was more than once that I go into the house and I'm coming out with a fucking dagger. Some guys were talking shit to me the other night, and my wife, you know, we got two crackheads out there trying to break into a fucking car. And I said, hey, you know, and then they were fucking with the dogs, neighbors, and I told them, hey, cut that shit out. And the guy, what the fuck you gonna do, motherfucker? And I got angry real quick. I went in there and got my katana. I'm gonna go chopping, honey. My wife's like, get your fucking ass back in the house. The fucking stupid ass problem. You know?
It's funny you say that,
But
because
it takes,
that quick, though.
yeah, it happens real quick.
it
you
does.
Know?
I
Once
pulled
you light
that.
up your fucking button, you know, and later now I laugh at it, but look how stupid I am. I can be.
Right, but
and
half of that time luckily you were in the beginning of it.
of course, I'm not going. I'm not gonna.
We don't hear anybody.
I didn't want to go out
We're
there.
just in anger.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go out there unarmed, but you know, I
Yeah.
was about to drag a fucking katana and scare these motherfuckers. But and then
I
I
finally just moved my bat and my knives to my trunk.
My kids were only 2 and 3 years old, and some shit like that went down back home where I'm
Anger
from.
also takes a lot of energy.
And I lived in an attic apartment, and I had to go and pull the sword, and it was a short sword. And I pulled the sword off
You know
the
what it's
fucking
like?
wall. Those motherfuckers are coming down the street with their guns.
A lot of us
I fucking run upstairs because the kids are upstairs sleeping, and I grab it off the wall, and by the time I get to the deck of the stairs, these motherfuckers are coming up
so we get
with
hit.
guns, and you got a
with
sword.
guns, and I got a fucking sword, so I just pulled that motherfucker back to stab that bastard, and
Which is older, so
they turned around and they were gone, bro. They said, this motherfucker is committed. As soon as I got to the corner of the yard, I look to the right, and all I see are fucking cops, man, coming. And so I just took the sword and dooped it into the fucking bush. and they never saw or found the sword, right? But they caught those motherfuckers up with them guns, though. I was laughing my ass off. See, that's the kind of shit I came from before you met me.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I didn't fuck around, bro. It was some really stupid shit, but that was one of those nights. My homeboy that was there, that we had the barbecue with, he was stepped back into this holly tree, and it's like a big pricker bush, right? He stepped back in that motherfucker because he said, I want to get involved. I didn't want him to see me, so I was going to get him. He goes, but they took off running. I go, no shit, they took off running.
When you're between 15 and 30 years old, you think you're a samurai ninja. You think you're a fucking cowboy. You do stupid shit.
It's no wonder that I have all these aches and pains and bullshit. I didn't carry that from the past life. No, I got that shit here. If I get reincarnated, I just hope I don't got to carry it with me. Yeah. And I hope I remember where I left my seeds.
And I'm glad I didn't lose my temper to the point that I made a fuck up. But I'm glad that Mr. Weed,
the way that things are going these days,
a little better.
Yeah, the way things are going these days, I don't want you to lose your cool either. I like having you around, bro. Just to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, don't worry, I'll be okay. I have plenty to smoke, and I got plenty of projects, and you know when you got
I live by stand my ground theory.
When you got your reviews and people telling you you're doing good, that's what keeps you going on your projects.
Hey, we getting some people that are talking about wanting to be able to like come and do some podcasts too. So, like, I'm gonna get figured out how to do all this stuff with you guys and get on. I guess I have to get on to a next level. Hey, you know what? Here's the funniest thing, man.
Welcome to Graffiti City, your one-stop shop for graffiti supplies. From spray paint to markers, caps, and merch, we've got it all. Let's get creative. GraffitiCityNV.com.
I was growing up, people would be like, hey, how's it been? What have you been up to? I go, well, it's a whole new life now, right? I've lived this life. How many lifetimes do you live in a life? I go, well, that depends on how much you're willing to change and how many you're willing to experience, or how much time you're willing to sit on the couch and do absolutely fucking nothing.
Hey,
this is a new lifetime.
Guess what? We're going to introduce you to a new life. Waka, tell him to use ChatGPT so he can learn.
Oh, Christ. There you go.
You want to start fucking around with AI?
Oh, no, not really. Not really. But it sounds like it might have to be happening. Something.
How do you feel about AI?
We're at the point now that it's coming whether you like it or not.
You think?
Know what?
But a manual job is a manual job. They can't take that away. No. But anybody that's doing the computer shit, their jobs are going to be obsolete soon. Or the graphic designers are having a hard time right now.
Before you say that.
Get anybody, an AI person first on a phone call to Verizon, to Renown, to any kind of institution. Anywhere you're calling, you're always talking to AI right off the bat.
I hate to tell you this, whether you work with your hands or not. I'm gonna make. Hey, I've been looking for a fucking hardwood floor sander that I could use a remote control on. So believe me when I tell you, I won't have to do the hands-on shit for long, because if I can find that motherfucker, I'm gonna use it.
You think AI is gonna take care of that one?
Well, if I put an AI on the sander and I drop it off, yep. I'll just be there to collect the money. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll help you carry that.
That's funny.
There's jobs that you do want AI to do, especially the heavy jobs.
Man, they
shit that could get people hurt.
They're hanging drywall. They got robots hanging drywall,
bro. They're stacking bricks. There's AI.
Have you seen it?
Doing making houses with.
Bro, if you haven't seen it, you ain't been paying attention. Don't lie to me, homie.
So the bot, the AI robot, builds it with this concrete and goes like this and does the outside, and it literally does whatever you want and builds. Yeah, it's crazy. Yep. I mean, I saw one the other day that stacked 500 bricks an hour.
I know some people that have made enough money to fucking buy that shit to do it too.
And I was like, wow, dude, just crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
and precise.
The operator. Someone bringing cement, and the guy working the robot and the AI. And it's
crazy.
In the house, so there you just put eliminated, like you said, 7 or 8 jobs.
Shit.
Well,
So that-
well, I had to see where the world's going to go after this. That's why I'm trying to get a little closer to the country, just in case, you know.
And then they found that. And then they found those fucking things under the Egyptian pyramids.
Now, see, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that shit was going to happen 20 years ago.
I'm gonna start a fucking theory that it was Mexicans that did it.
Hey,
The Mexicans
what
brought
did
the
they-
pyramids.
What did they find?
they may have.
Just because I want to talk book shit. You know?
There's a major void underneath the Egyptian pyramids.
Apparently they're sitting
they
actually on big old towers
they
with
have-
oils.
Pillars with coils. And the
That
deal,
doesn't surprise me.
well, the deal is
Well, just because of
this
I don't
between
think
this
it's-
planet and our sun, we generate so much fucking energy at different magnitudes, right? Which is why those guys over at Skinwalker Ranch are dealing with what they're dealing with. Because that shit that's crashed into that mountainside, and I guarantee you it's a ship in there.
You know what I'm saying?
It's got to be.
Could have just be the reverse.
Oh, that'd be cool. That was a link to Mr. Pyramids or something.
Right, but so not only is there a ship that may be possibly stuck in
You
there,
never know.
but there's also something that they can't see that is obstructing.
Is this something recent?
Yeah,
Mr. Pyramids.
it's all this stuff is recent. They're really starting to get now. So here, a lot of shit's gonna start changing, right? A lot of shit's gonna start changing. You're gonna have even more of these places. Like you just saw that Taiwan? Where was it?
The earthquake.
Yeah, where was that at?
That was in Myanmar.
There you go.
Yeah.
What the fuck,
Well,
dude? That wasn't just some little earthquake.
no, that's called Mother Nature getting back at humans and saying enough,
Exactly.
you know.
Things up a little
And,
bit.
Right. And now,
Mother Nature is one of the most vicious, coolest things, you know.
I also
I think
read.
that's the only one that I feel comfortable with. One of our loved ones passing away through Mother Nature,
Right.
you know. But all other ones, that you know, they can destroy your spirit.
I
You
lost
know,
my son, and it was crazy. Yeah.
you know, like Toulouse.
I don't know. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. The difference between like someone going in a tsunami
Uh-huh.
versus someone murdering them or whatever.
Yeah.
Else.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, there is a difference.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Hey, loss is loss, and I'm sure that whoever
Right.
lost that person lost it. But like you said, you know, a natural disaster is a little bit easier.
It's
Right.
something like it's not
Well,
my
that's
fault.
why I brought up the
Something that,
reincarnation part.
is a sudden.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why I brought up the reincarnation
death
part.
syndrome. Like that's just crazy.
Right.
But, if the
Have you-
airplane falls through the-
Have you ever heard like have you ever heard the wives' tale that if you have like a birthmark somewhere, it's where you took a severe injury and possibly died? You ever heard that?
That's crazy.
No fucker. I have no broken bones. My head is okay. A lot of scars on my head.
Well, you said there's a lot of
And
voices too. I don't know what-
well, only voices, but you know, I think that was because of my sleep apnea.
No, I just kidding
You
with
know, and sleep deprivation leads you to seeing things,
you. Right.
and it also leads you to hearing things. You know, so I used to have a lot of sleep deprivation that I didn't know I had.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I remember one time I was driving to Salt Lake, and I tell the guys, "Hey, wake up, motherfucker! Somebody's got to take over." And they go, "Oh, no, homie's like, can you go a little more?" No, motherfucker, I'm seeing buffaloes riding next to me. I'm riding through a fucking field of buffalo. They're all riding, and it's actually the bushes, but the bushes are turning into buffalo, and they're riding next to me. I'm like, seriously, somebody get up, we got the steering wheel.
Where I come from, we'd be like, "Hey, that's a freebie."
That's a freebie. No, but for us, last time I drove through Highway 50, me and Vaca came back through Highway 50, the loneliest freeway.
Right.
I was seeing big old babies. The trees and the mountains look like babies and shit like that.
That's
I had
crazy.
to pull over because I started hallucinating.
So you eating too many of those cookies, Raph?
No cookies when I was
No
driving.
cookies.
But,
Ah.
You want to know an experience? Drive on Highway 50. It's the loneliest fucking road, highway in the
Right.
world or whatever.
Hey, well, look, I seen these when we was talking about Skinwalker Ranch. Like 30 miles from there is that Blind Frog Ranch place. They've been trying for the last 14 years to get to like the bottom of this mystery, and it's in the Uinta Mountains in Utah. Well, supposedly this is where the Aztecs took their gold when the Spanish invaded them and took it all the way up to their homeland. Now, not very many people realize that all natives on North and South American continent are pretty much related in some way, right?
Yeah, they were doing intercommerce. They were trading.
Right.
There
And
was
so
trade routes.
their original homeland before they went down to South America and built their empire was based in a cave system in the Uinta Mountains.
And that's the one they call Aztlan, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, they've
Where
been
all
looking. They've been
the-
looking for Aztlan, you know, the place where the Aztecs started their journey.
Now, if you start watching the series, right, you'll see in the beginning they go diving down in this cave hole that's flooded. You still don't even know where this cold water's coming from. But they get down in there and they find these boxes, right, and they're all made out of timber. And all the timber is hewn 500 plus years ago by Aztecs.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and inside of it is like the way they process gold now, or some other, I forget what it is. You have to watch it. I can't remember everything all the time. But they process a certain metal or something, and they shouldn't have this byproduct. Not only should that byproduct they believe shouldn't be existing yet in that time, because they just started doing it in the like 19th or 20th century.
I think it's what mercury. Mercury is used to extract gold
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, and there's a byproduct
It's
to that.
it's used to unite the gold, the mercury.
And they're finding the evidence of their processing.
Of the byproduct of the
Right.
Wow.
It's getting pretty good, dude. Like
I need
I'd
to
love-
find. I
I'd
need to
love to
find
help
this
'em.
ones on YouTube.
yeah, buddy.
We'll see you later,
All
homie.
right, my man.
Thank you for pitching in.
Hey, no
It
problem.
was good
Hey,
seeing
you
you.
wanna-
I'll definitely come
Whenever
back.
you want to come over, it's just like therapy. You talk
I
about
was-
the
dude, I
demons
was
and the
just thinking
creatures.
that. I'm sitting there and going, I'm all, this is cool as shit. I'm like relaxed. I'm just laughing. I'm
That's-
listening to you guys. I'm also getting information.
Yeah, I want to know what kind of TV he's watching. And
Yeah, I was like,
I'm trying to figure out where my phone
I'm
was.
trying to figure out if I've been abducted. You know? If I could come over here and spend a few hours,
Yeah,
maybe I'll
this-
figure out which one it was.
this is the time you can talk about when you blacked out.
Yeah, what is, yeah, the only day I left my dog in law today, and I just want to make sure.
It's all good. We're dog people. We're
love my
dog
dog.
people.
All right, homie.
I love
You
my
take
five
care.
dogs.
Stay blessed, all right?
Take care,
Later,
homie.
brother.
Hey, Ted, I'll talk to you later, bro.
Yes, sir. Thanks for
And I'll
stopping.
see you guys again for sure.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I've been watching Ancient Aliens, and I thought it was a bunch of bullshit. And then
Right.
now as you go more and more, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's
I'm
and
telling you,
that's the
this shit
thing.
could be true. You know,
Oh
it's
no,
weird.
not could be. So when I was a kid and I was always looking up at the stars, they were talking about just putting satellites up there, right? And like the last 10 to 20 years, when I was a kid, which I don't even think there was that many up there, and I would see these things happening, and my family would always be telling me, "Oh no, that's an airplane," and I'd go, "Well, doesn't the airplane have the red and green
Doesn't it have the
flashing
blinking
lights?"
stuff?
Right? And they're like, "Yeah," and I go, "Well, they didn't have that," and they go, "Oh, well, it's a space station," and I go, "How come I seeing the space station there and there and there?" There you can't know, and they're not. So I've always believed, even as a child, I've been a free thinker. Obviously, been done whatever the fuck I want. Paid the price for it. But I've always been a free thinker, brother, and like I've always believed that these things were true. But I didn't ever think that I would find out any kind of information that it was. You know what I mean? Because they try to keep that shit secret for so long. But I know your families know better.
Well, for me, I got to see something with my own eyes. So now I know, but you know, and that was before I even understood what I was seeing.
Shit.
You know, and that's the only way I can. But and that's before I even understood, you know, how fast airplanes travel, things travel.
Yeah.
You know, and then I come to comprehend shit. You know, but still, it didn't even make sense until I'm, you know, just a few years ago. I'm like, wait a minute, you telling me? But you know, and it's not something I went and told people or this or that, because it was just me seeing three spheres, almost like a triangle about the mountain, Mount Rose.
Yeah.
And choom, 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 and then they take off.
See?
But now, you know, you start hearing all the, you know, through Joe Rogan podcasts, and after watching Mr. This and that, and they start talking about it, and you're like, oh, shit, yeah, you're right. You know, you can't go because of the G-force. You start understanding G-force.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you get on a fucking ride at the amusement park, the one that's on the edge, and homie's fat. He's gonna crush the other motherfucker because of the G-force.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I've been in those positions before.
You know?
I ain't never really been a very good person.
Yeah,
that's why they told me to be quick.
Been in one of the ones that spins real fast, and the guy that's on the outside, you want to have, because there's the skinny guy, and the homie's over there. He's just gonna crush the other motherfucker, and he can't do shit. The G-force just
that scrambler gets you every time.
You know,
But
and you know, now you kind of understand the G-force and shit like that. When you see something, and then you're like, okay, then
I figured out G-force about the time I got hit in the head with a ball, and it bounced away real fast. And I knew that there was no way that my head could do that with my body, because it was quick. I mean, shit, it hurt.
I remember back in the day when you know, they started talking about, you know, battery cars. Fuck that, that'll never happen. What's happening? I remember when the stealth bomber was the shit, and you know,
they're getting sick now. Yeah, they're getting
you got
crazy
AI
now.
controlling these fucking jets and shit like that. And now, you know, that's one of the things that prevents an airplane from destroying another one, is the G-force that the human can't take.
Right.
But there's no human in that motherfucker, and it's also operated by fucking AI.
Area 51.
And, yeah.
They were very busy out there.
And so right now,
all over. You
see in the drones doing all the cool art and shit like that.
Yep.
That shit is scary as a motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's about what I said to my wife. Can you imagine? That's pretty scary.
You may look at it, oh, how beautiful it is, but that shit can be turned into a weapon really fucking quick.
Yeah, it's not going to be long before, you know. Man, this is a crazy world. It's a crazy world, bro. When the more they find out there's a wormhole to another planet, and it's, you know, ready to start over, I might be in.
Like the war between Russia and Ukraine, you actually got to see drones going at it. There's a lot of drones from both sides and this and that. Drones is one of the key
now we got some kind of sonic defender against drones. And when they start coming in, instead of trying to hit them with artillery, it just takes out the swarm.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy too. They can send swarms of drones too. We're pretty much already in what do you call it, Terminator?
You know, everybody asked me why I was always so angry. I always told them I think I'm just trying to get prepared for whatever's at the end.
Did you ever see the documentary at Ted Kaczynski?
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh, dude, you check out his documentary. His manifesto, like he was all against building stuff that could hurt us, like such as AI and computers, and we didn't listen to him.
Oh yeah.
And we're doing it now, and we're so close to creating the Terminator 1, you know. And,
I need to get out more towards the country.
You know, I thought it was crazy when I saw that other movie. What was it?
I'd rather deal with the hills have eyes than I would AIs.
The hills have eyes.
Yeah, because they bleed.
Maximum Overdrive. You ever
Oh, yes,
remember Maximum Overdrive?
Oh, yeah, it was one of my favorite ones when I was
kind of
growing
like
up.
the first time that you would see machines turn against humans. That was a sci-fi movie.
Yep, that was the very first concept I ever saw of robots or anything mechanical turning on humans.
Yeah, it's kind of like, the fucking blenders and shit started turning on.
Yeah, oh, let me get that. I go, no. Stubby, what you gonna do for a living?
But now you know the capabilities of drones and shit like that.
Man, I'm telling you what.
You know the capabilities that all your money's tied up to a computer through a bank.
When I was a kid, they gave me a little gas. It was not too little. I mean, it was a good size, like gas-propelled plane, plastic plane. Motherfucker was dangerous as hell. I swear to God, why in the hell would you give it to a little kid like me? And it ran on you get that motherfucker going, and you just hold on to the strings, right? Like a kite. Going around in circles. Like, that motherfucker was dangerous then. Now you make it so you can just fly it from anywhere. God damn. Like, yeah, you don't want to give that shit to me. I don't need to know how to fly a drone.
And it's funny because the first thing that they made drones like very acceptable, they just put a camera in front of it. And that's like the number one spy shit. You know?
Why you always want to shoot shit? Well, you give me a reason to.
Like in Mexico, people, they see a drone, they're all scared because they're being used in a bad way over there.
Man.
You know? I thought drones were going to help humans. They turn on humans already. You know?
It's crazy out there.
Real quick.
It's crazy out there. They were using those things at Skinwalker Ranch. And listen, they can be hacked. And they can definitely be manipulated by forces outside that you can't stop. That's all I'm going to say.
I have somebody telling me that they use drones to get drugs into the side of prisons and shit like that. Have prison guard.
Dude, I'm flipping through reels and I see this cat talking about selling his drugs. And what is he doing? He's using his fucking drone to fly it over to people, right over the fence, drop it off in their backyard while they're sunning, drop it off at their table where they're having coffee and breakfast. Like,
and sold.
Oh man, and he's just like, yeah, I got a killer business. Yeah, this
It's delivery.
Fucking delivery service by drone.
While the transaction is happening.
What the hell is going on there, bro? Like, I was like, dude, I'm so glad that I wasn't running then. What I'm not doing now, what I did then. That, man.
I think we're going to have robots doing your job pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if I can get that one sitting in there on that floor,
this
might happen.
They already play with a robot that is tattooing people and shit like that. So, you know, we need to go.
I saw that. Isn't it happening from
our jobs at a jeopardy too, you know? You know, our industry, we're going to have to go kill that program. Or
I think it's very important.
Send some ninjas to go destroy these people.
I think it's very important to kind of start wandering a little further outside of cities.
We're going to have to take the word out because I don't want people to say that I'm threatening people.
I think we just need to kind of start moseying a little bit more on the outside of the city. Just kind of.
I don't think you can escape it now.
Well, you believe me?
I mean,
I'm going to have a nice spot to defend.
Look at fucking Bigfoot. He can't still get away from us. Everybody's still looking for that guy.
Man, that brother there.
He's just trying to sit down, relax, eat a sandwich. And as soon as he sits down, somebody's fucking, I got him on video. Poor guy. Can he just have some peace?
Do you watch Expedition Bigfoot?
No.
Oh,
but
my
I know that,
God, dude. They caught him.
They caught him?
They caught a video of him, and then they could not catch up to his ass. And you see this big, huge silhouette in the background, and he walks on by, and they're just like, what the? And take off
blurry.
after him.
Don't tell me it's blurry again.
This one was in the nighttime.
See, that's why I hate it, man. There's always blurry.
I'm telling you.
They got to use the cameras that they use for porn, because porn is always clear. So
People
they
don't
need to use
realize-
a certain kind of cameras
People-
because
People don't realize we're sitting on pyramids, and they've been the watchers for many, many years. They just phase out into the bottom.
yeah.
That's
I'm
where
glad,
they're running around at.
I'm glad I kept up with my witchcraft, you know.
Yeah,
Because you never know. You still need to know the spells, and you still need to know the characters and shit like that, you know.
I stay up on a lot of my remedies from my background.
In Virginia, what kind of mythical creatures you got over there?
Shit. I don't know. I'm more worried about the ones that ain't mythical. So if a mythical one comes up on me, I mean, they talk about like Mothman.
Well, sometimes mythical
up
turns
in
into reality, fucker.
Right. Well, they talk
You
about
know?
the Mothman being up in Pennsylvania, and then
Which ones are in Virginia?
In
What you got
Virginia?
in Virginia?
Hey, if there was going to be something in Virginia, I would expect it to be a werewolf before I expect it to be anything.
So you got
else.
werewolves in that area?
I
That's what
would
you
imagine
think?
if there was going to be something there, that'd be what it was. That's where I would go. You know.
In my hometown, we got witches. We had
Plenty
vampires.
of witches, bro.
There's a museum in my hometown,
Yeah.
Guanajuato. They show you how to get rid of a vampire.
Ooh, yeah.
Just when you thought
Don't
you-
let her suck you first.
You know, the vampires is like, God damn, I want to stop believing in this shit, but maybe it's real. You
Dude,
know?
like I said, man, what did I talk about? At one point, I believe we all interacted for some reason or another. And for whatever reason, we don't exist on the same exact planes anymore. You know, and we're surrounded by stuff that we can't even see with our eyes.
Well, I believe in Mr. Ghost. I believe in Mr. Spirits.
Well, yeah, it's
You know?
energy, of
And
course.
I tattooed a mother and daughter, and they were both telling me that they actually, both of them have the ability to see spirits. And this and
Well, I
that.
don't
It was
doubt
so
it.
fucking cool.
It
when
usually runs in the family.
When you talk to the ones that say, I see dead people. I'm like, are you serious? And then
Bro.
they tell me what they look like and what's up and what's going on. You know, it's like, are these fuckers just fucking with me or this shit for real? But it's really cool to hear it, you know, to hear a story like that.
Yeah, you don't even know, man. My old lady, she's touched. She's touched. I know when there's stuff going around. I hear things, I see things, but like she's had interactions. I know that I remember my daughter coming to me and telling me about this kid that came to her, and my wife walked into the room and they started talking, and like my wife had already seen this kid years before. And all of a sudden, we're all living right up the street from where this kid is killed, and my wife used to live in the house right behind where the kid lived before he got killed. It was a trip. This I'm telling you, being out here is like being in a vortex of time and energy. You can step in the wrong spots, or you can step in the right spots.
Well, I can't wait for somebody to find a wormhole and start you showing us how to use wormholes.
Yes.
I would like to really play around with wormholes.
That'd be fun. I'd like to see a couple of moons and see what the different, experience it.
Yeah.
I don't need to go to another country. I just go to another planet.
No, we're gonna send you to Egypt. Fuck it.
Nah.
We want you
Yeah.
to go and investigate the pyramids. You know.
There's some good shit going on there, brother. Like,
Yeah, I'm beginning to, because
There
right now
used to
I don't
be
know
really
what's true
clean
or
energy
fake
here.
anymore. Fucking AI is all over the fucking place. You have to. I don't even know what's true or fake anymore.
yeah.
You know.
So I do a little more investigating. I laugh when I see it on Facebook.
Well,
But then when I'm reading like
shit that I think
news
is fake
and
on
stuff
Facebook,
like that,
it turns out to be real later. It's like, what the fuck? This shit's for
Yeah.
real? So it takes me about a week or a month before I catch up with the latest. I
Right.
can't believe it's happening
I can't believe it's not butter.
because I don't want to add to the contributing of fucking false stories and information and telling people things that are not really true.
Hey, speaking of
People
things
should not
that are
even believe
really-
nothing that I say.
Right.
You should not believe anything that I say because it's all mystical creatures and a lot of smoking weed.
Hey, what did you think about what old boy had to say about the product? Did you hear what he had to say?
Yeah, we actually got him in the beginning,
He's
but that's
true.
no, he's definitely a talker, homie. He's definitely we can get him in. We need to get 4 microphones. We need to invest on a 4 microphone outfit, Waka. So that's gonna be our next investment. We can buy. They should have one, and then we can have like one that takes 8 microphones, or 4 microphones, something like that.
Before you know it, we're going to be sitting in our own space station.
All right.
This CBD infused cream provides targeted comfort with a zesty, refreshing scent. Find your relief today at ktapothecary.com.
I'm gonna start watching some of these shows. I watched that the Apocalypse one,
Right.
on the Netflix with Hancock.
Oh, I'm gonna have to
I
watch
like his shit, man. I like the way he explains Quetzalcoatl, and I like the meteor that destroyed Earth. I like that story. And,
I believe it all happened. I believe it was sent here to make it happen.
Okay, well, we need to know who's fucking sending shit like that, because that ain't nice. That destroyed all our fauna.
Yeah,
They killed a lot of the big animals. That's bullshit.
right.
So the next investigation is we find out who the fucker is, and we send them a message.
You ever heard
back.
of population control?
Yeah, that's Fred News.
If they
Remember Fred News when he did that?
if they feel that our population is getting out of control, what do you think they're going to do? Come down here and say, hey, we think your population's getting out of control, get control of it? No, they're going to throw something at us that we won't know it's them.
I keep thinking that's why the World War III's coming. It's a way to do population control.
Well,
The same way they did in World War II.
you think?
Yeah, World War II was population control.
Well, if you don't have a catastrophe that's going to do it, then you got to create one.
And it's also one of those wars that was highly designed under meth.
Right? Yes.
Meth was the number one contributor to that craziness.
Well, if they find this traversable wormhole and that it's real, then maybe we could send a few people on the other side.
I'm not volunteering to that shit, homie. We're gonna have to.
I just want to take my seeds.
We're gonna
with
have
me.
to pick Duncan. Duncan is usually pretty brave.
Well, you gotta at least tell me what's on the other. You need to show me what's on the other side first.
Okay.
Whatever danger there
and
is,
then
I don't
after
give
Duncan,
a shit.
we're gonna send Juan and then Felipe, and that's how we're gonna get it done. But sometimes we gotta sacrifice, because sometimes you send the Duncan, they're the ones who go and negotiate, and if something goes wrong, let them take a hit. Then hopefully the next guy will come in with a proper dosage of weed, and we settle it.
Ha!
All right, fuckers. I'll see you guys later.
Peace out.
We're catching up on spooky stuff on this episode. You guys have a nice day.